Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled, How Do the Sun Simulators Heat the Atmosphere in the Absence of Solar Radiation? Now, as I have shown in many previous articles, the sun is no longer shining and the heating and illumination of the planet's atmosphere has been replaced by an artificial system. And you may look at article 453 entitled The Sun is Now a Dark Star. The simulators use visible light lasers to simulate the sun and the sky, but these cannot heat the atmosphere. The technology making this possible has been available since the early 1970s. And you may look at article 407 entitled Sun Simulation System, Technology and Power Generation. Visible light laser cannot directly hit the atmosphere because atmospheric particles cannot directly absorb visible light. The atmosphere can, however, absorb infrared radiation emitted by the surface of the Earth. So the surface absorbs all the visible light that falls upon it and re-emits it as infrared radiation. But this radiation would mostly escape into space unless a greenhouse layer reflected it back toward the ground. So in order to keep the atmosphere as warm as before, in the absence of the sun illuminating the atmosphere with high-intensity radiation, a greenhouse layer made of reflective aluminum nanoparticles was created. And you may look at article 223 entitled Chemtrails Increase Greenhouse Effect, indicating a weakening sun. Now, heat can be transferred from one object to another. So, for example, from these logs that are burning to hands, to human hands, via three ways: conduction, convection, and radiation. And so the sun and convection, as you can see, is just heat being transferred by the movement of air or particles moving upwards from the flames towards the hands. Conduction is when one part of this metal, which is placed in the flames, heats up and the heat travels across the metal to the hand. That is direct conduction through a physical connection between the fire and the hands. And the third one is radiation, where the flames are emitting light, that is radiation, and the hands absorb that radiation and therefore absorb energy, and that energy goes into heating. That is, it increases the vibration of the particles making up the hands. Now, so the atmosphere cannot directly absorb visible light, but it can absorb microwave, infrared, ultraviolet, and X-ray radiation. But it is invisible to visible light. However, nitrogen does scatter blue light, so that nitrogen molecules absorb and re-emit blue light without retaining any of the energy. And this is why the sky used to be blue. Now it is blue because of blue lasers. The atmosphere and the surface also absorb ultraviolet radiation, so ultraviolet lasers are used when extra heat is needed, such as when it is supposed to be the summer season in a certain region. These lasers seem to emit UVC as well as UVA and B radiation, which has led to huge amounts of UVC radiation reaching the surface of the Earth. And you may look at article 204 entitled Harmful UVC Radiation Reaching Earth's Surface Indicates Source Within Atmosphere. And you can see the data here that has been plotted. And first you can see this is the measurements done by Hendon and his colleagues in 2017 and 2018. Here's the UVA radiation measurements. So the red one is for the 2018, the black one from 2017. And this one here was a measurement done by Diffie in 2002. And in 2002 we had mainly UVA radiation. The atmosphere doesn't absorb UVA, that is the ozone layer. But then it absorbs some of the UVB, but not all of it. And so this is the UV radiation that was reaching the surface of the Earth. It was UVA and some UVB. But beyond this, this wavelength that is below about 300 nanometers, there was no UVB. But now in 2017 and 2018, you can see that there's definitely UVB and UVC, and in addition, the UVC increases as we get to the highest energy of the ultraviolet spectrum. So the energy increases as we move down in wavelength, so in this direction. So 200 nanometers is more energetic, the light is more energetic than at 300. So this means there's a lot of UVC reaching the ground in 2017 and 2018. And in this graph you can see how much there actually is, because this green line here shows the amount of UV radiation reaching the top of the atmosphere. So that is before it goes through the ozone layer and starts being absorbed. So this is the amount reaching, and you can see at the highest energy or the lowest wavelengths, there is now more UVC radiation reaching the surface than was reaching the top of the atmosphere that was coming from the sun. So this can only indicate one thing, and that is that there is a source of UVC radiation within the atmosphere. There is no way that this radiation comes from the sun, because the sun does not even emit that amount in order for that much to reach the surface of the Earth. As you can see, it was much less. So this means that there is a source within the atmosphere, and the fact that the trend here is increasing suggests that this source, in other words, ultraviolet light lasers, are also a source of extreme ultraviolet radiation, because beyond this, beyond UVC, we're moving into extreme ultraviolet radiation, which is ionizing and extremely damaging. Now, water molecules in the atmosphere are also able to absorb microwave radiation, and therefore all phone towers and cell phones are providing heat for the atmosphere. So in conclusion, the Earth's atmosphere is being heated through various artificial means in the absence of the real sun illuminating the Earth's atmosphere with its radiation. The Earth also has an artificial greenhouse layer which keeps the radiation emitted by the Earth within the atmosphere. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.